Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Step Into Your Power. This is episode 3 with Tommy Truthful and Honey C. Golden. All the links are down below in the description. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Get this video out to everyone. We're going to talk about the different soul groups today. Lyrians, Palladians. There's so much information out there on it. So Honey is a expert in this. I'm gonna let her take over. And also in the description is a link to our website that we're co-owners in, stepintoyourpower.com. You can join that website for free. So check that out. Now, Honey, to you.
Hi. Hi,
Hey,
everybody.
how are
So
you?
I'm really excited about this.
Me
It's going to be
too.
great. Yeah. I think the soul groups, it's kind of important because you get different energy from different soul groups. And most of us have one of these kinds of souls within us at this point. And we're playing this learning game, and our human part of us, which is another soul group, is learning from us. And that's what all of this stuff is about right now. So there are 7 organic, like, main soul groups. And the first one that basically came out of the sea of what we would call God or source is the architect soul group. And they facilitated most of the other, well, all of the other soul groups except for one. And one of them actually came from a different multiverse slash universe.
Ooh,
So, yeah.
that's
So the
fascinating.
architects, which is really fun, the architects have been the designers. And that's why they're called the architects. You could call them the builders as well. But a lot of people contribute, or a lot of soul groups contribute to building the matrices, but the architects are the designers of the matrices. So the angelics are the second soul group. The third one is the titans. And then we have the ETs and interdimensionals, the elementals, and the dragons.
Ooh, the
So
dragons. Tell
humanity, yeah, the dragons came from a different universe, and humanity is the last soul group to be born. So
this is
those are the basic big soul groups.
oh, that's fascinating. So a lot of cultures worship the dragons. And the, were the dragons were they a good soul group or were they like? Because I know some people get them confused with the reptilians. I think they're two separately different things. Dragons and reptilians.
So some of their DNA was used nefariously,
Oh,
but the dragons are a very good soul group. They have massive amounts of wisdom. So the dragon body can be 10,000 years old. Like, it lives a very long life. And that's really, a beautiful thing. I feel like my internet's really slow.
it's not bad. I
Are you
hear you
noticing
pretty.
that?
It's a
Okay.
little leggy, but not
Okay.
too bad. You're yeah, it's going pretty good. So
Okay.
with the dragons though, um, are there still some dragons here in this reality that we're in now, honey?
Yeah, there's dormant dragons right now. I basically helped release an etheric dragon the other day. So there are dragon souls that are all over in our skies right now, and they're creating like clouds that look like dragons. And that dragon energy is in some people's bodies right now.
Right. In
So
the
some people are carrying a dragon soul at the moment, or maybe a mixed soul. So these soul groups, they also mix together.
Right. You
which
might
is a
have
whole nother. Yeah.
multiple soul groups in one. Well, that's interesting. You know, they give us the pictures of like this, the different ones, the Andromedans, Syrians, and of course someone made that with AI. So who knows if that's even factual. But the blue avians, which were supposed to be the bird people, I think they got Thoth up there as one of them. Didn't
Yeah.
Thoth ain't around no more, Thoth, and he actually belonged to the architects, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. And he's not around anymore. And he was extremely knowledgeable, but part of the group that captured Earth. So that war is over. And Thoth did not agree to heal and change, so is no longer a soul and has been turned into pure energy. And all of that happens with, basically the divine comes together, and that's a conversation that happens with the divine, whether that soul is going to basically be spread out and turned into pure energy and not have a personality anymore,
Wow.
because they would not evolve. They refuse to evolve. Most of those pictures, if you want to put it up again,
Yes, ma'am.
almost all the pictures are wrong.
Right.
The main one that's pretty similar is the Pleiadian.
The Palladian, right. And that's what,
Yeah.
before we went live, guys, I told Honey, I said, man, I went down a rabbit hole. There was like so much information, and one group of people gave their opinion this way, and another group gave their opinion this way. So I thought this episode would be a good episode to show you that everything you find on the internet is not always correct, right? And
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, like Thoth being a blue avian when he's really an architect, you know. And then Lyrians, they just used the dude from what was it, Avatar? They used
Yeah.
the guy from Avatar. I mean, it's a cool image though. Whoever put it out there, it's a pretty cool image. But that was from
Hmm.
a blog site that I was reading on. And so, were there entities that looked like what the avatars looked like in the movie Avatar?
Yeah. I think that, so the Lyrans have a blue group and then a regular, they look like a lion group. And these avatars look similar to the blue group. They also look kind of similar to um, Lemurians, but Lemurians I don't feel had stripes, and I don't feel that their noses were feline like that.
Right.
But um, they looked similar to that as well. Very tall, very strong, and everybody, like all the different species, are just a slightly different variation of a humanoid species, because almost everybody has arms and legs, but then there's also the cryptoids. I think that's what they're called, but basically like the ant people.
Yeah, that's what
And
Jay Dreams is really into. The one we podcast with last time, he's into the phantazoids and the cryptoids, and the Hopi talked about the ant people, the Hopi Indians.
right, and
Sorry to
they're amazingly smart. So the ant people are brilliant healers, amazing beings. But a human being would probably freak out if they saw them in person.
Oh yeah, I mean, if it looks like a giant ant, I'm running. If I see that guy,
Right.
I'm like, whoa!
Yeah.
But that's the problem. Some of them that could be nice, you might get scared when you see it. You know, like, oh wow, what is that? Because we're so conditioned to just see what we can see around us, and some people can see beyond the physical. You know, can go into the astral plane and stuff, and you see more than this. I'll tell you that. In there,
Hmm.
I think the best representation of what I found online accept maybe a few of the facts, but the way they looked was the Palladian starseeds. And now I
Yeah.
know there's some that kind of look a little Asian too, right?
Yeah, they have different colored hair, but they are probably the most human looking ETs. And I think that a lot of our DNA comes from them. And when you think about designing, if someone is designing something and giving it certain energy, then they're basically using pieces of their own knowledge to continue their design. And so humanity was basically made in an image that's very similar to the Pleiadians. But we have many different kinds of DNA that is all intertwined together. I like that they brought up the idea of dimensions. So dimensions are not physical, dimensions are consciousness. So you could have been in the third dimension and everything worked out for you all day long and you had synchronicity after synchronicity.
Right.
And that would mean you were living in the fifth dimension and like in your mind and in your soul, but your physical body was in the third dimension. I mean,
Right.
density.
Density. Yeah,
So
that's what
density is physicality and dimension. Yeah. So those get mixed up a lot.
they do, and that's what I look at. Like when people talk about other like planets like Saturn, me personally, my perspective on that, I look at it as different dimensions. I don't know if you know who. Have you ever heard of Max Spears?
Yeah, but I don't know what he does. I'm pretty bad with names.
He's passed away now.
Oh,
He
okay.
was amazing though. Like he brought a lot of truth out, and he said he was involved. They like kidnapped him at a young age, and he was in a super soldier program for the government, and he was going to expose like this black magic cult, and he was over in Poland to do this huge interview. And then he passed away on the couch at the place he was staying at, vomiting up a black liquid. So very weird. And that's in the mainstream media. You can look it up. The news reported on it, everything. It was bizarre. But he said when he went to Mars through from several different missions that he walked through a Stargate and was instantly there. And he said it looked like freaking
Mhm.
Arizona. That there was like houses there. It looked like Arizona in the desert. I don't know why. It just really resonated with me, everything that Max said. I have a pretty good BS meter, and I didn't feel like he was lying. So I just look at
Right.
like Mars and them things as just different dimensions. This one that we're in, then this is just my opinion, guys, that this one is coded at the speed of light. So once you break beyond that speed of light, you can travel interdimensionally, and that's where the whole Stargate technology um, comes into play. And then there was
Mhm.
another slide that I had to make this one myself, but the information I found on Facebook, it was just too short, so I had to expand it and make it longer so it would fit across the screen. And it's this lady that follows me, and she put these types of souls. So she put star seeds, crystalline children, indigo children, rainbow children, and then she put dates like uh, when they were born. Do you know if there's any truth to that? Like
Mhm.
me, I guess the first wave, 1970s to 1990s, would be the indigo children, right? And their
Yeah.
soul mission breakdown, outdated systems and challenge, injustice, traits, deep eyes. She gave all the different traits. The rainbow children, the newest wave, 2010s to presents. So that'd be my little daughter Anna. You want to know something that's interesting? Anna is obsessed with rainbows. I mean,
Yeah.
blonde, but I guess all little girls are.
Well, if you think about a rainbow, it's showing you different frequencies.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of feeding. It's also like a representation of your chakras. But the chakras are actually spreading out right now in the body. But if you look at these different things, these different definitions of the star seeds, and yeah, yeah, exactly. The
Yeah.
chakras.
Seven
Mm-hmm,
chakras, the seven colors of the rainbow. I mean, you're dead on with that. And it even ties into our light spectrum, what we can see, right? The radio waves, the microwaves, the infrared, visible light, ultraviolet.
mm-hmm.
It's pretty fascinating.
It is. It's really fascinating. And if you go back to that one little slide right there with the Indigo children, so I was born in the early 70s. You were probably born in the 80s, I'm
83.
assuming. Yeah. And basically, we're here to dismantle the systems that don't work anymore. Um, Here to create a foundation for the crystal children who then are actually birthing a lot of the rainbow children. Now
Oh,
you are a little younger, so you have a rainbow child, but a lot of the crystal children will continue to birth more and more of the rainbow children. And this goes to the waves of volunteers with that Dolores Cannon talks about. So
yes.
there's been different groups that have come in and basically they're creating safe space for the next group to come in. And we've never had so many big souls in human bodies on this planet in this reality before. So it's been really hard to flip the narrative until now. And now it's flipping. So it's a huge process and it was a massive spiritual conflict, but we're not doing polarity in this universe anymore. So the conflict is over and we're basically now into letting the old distorted world fall and we get ready to build the new world. So that's what we're here for. And if you're watching this, you can probably feel which area you came in on, what you're here for.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it's
agree.
really cool. So,
I definitely agree with that myself too. And you can feel that the energy shift. Like, I mean, it's massive right now. And towards the end of the show, guys, I'll show you this decode I did, and it came from a talk that we had last night together, all four of us, me, Honey, my dad, and Brad, and they were talking in the background, and my brain just works in numbers. So as they're talking, I'm wondering, okay, this is 4th of July. I wonder how many days it was from the original 4th of July, and it was like 90,009 days, I believe, which is 999. And I'll show you guys the breakdown I did on it because it's crazy. That number's tied to Trump. It's tied to a lot of good things, actually. So we're going through a major frequency shift, and it says it in the coding and
mhm.
everything. So it's pretty amazing time to be alive. Now this one, Honey, I wrote out myself just from some of the stuff that I found on. This was the hardest soul group to find any information on. The architects, our soul group. I mean, it was almost impossible. Like I found maybe
Mhm.
a couple blogs on it. So I wrote some stuff that I know that you told me, and then a few different things I found online. And it's pretty much everything that you said we came here to build. Um, we're the ones that we can see the grids, the programs, the code in the background. Probably why I do what I do for a living with the gematria and breaking everything down, because that's just I see the code. I see the code in everything. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's fascinating. So do you think you read some of these? Do you think some of these are pretty quantum vision, seeing future timelines, probable fields,
Yeah.
abilities? Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It really describes our soul group pretty well. So, some of the things that I've experienced as I've been talking to my higher self, my soul, which has been a constant conversation at this point, but it took me a long time to really cultivate that and to kind of break through the 3D veil so that I could talk constantly with my soul. And these are the kind of things that come through. What timeline, what are things going to look like, right? And I used to talk about times quite a bit until physically I understood what a timeline shift was, and then I quit talking about dates, because if you create too much energy that's focused on one date, too many different perceptions, you actually mess that date up, and then something will be moved to a different date.
Right.
So that's important. But you can see, like, I can see a lot of the matrix, especially if you're kind of in a calm space. I can get direct answers about the future. And a lot of my stuff comes in very general. And just because I think that we are shifting constantly. So I do see flying cars coming in, trains that are basically supersonic, they're here already, but we're going to be getting access to them. I see blimps happening, and those being more like a tourist type travel. Um, just all kinds of things happening. I see the electronics that are going to come in. And when people ask me questions, then I ask my soul and I get an answer. And that's kind of how everything unfolded for me as I contacted and discussed things with my architect soul. Now, the angelics were split off from the architects. So most of us have angelic pieces, and that, from our oversoul.
Right.
And some of those, yeah, so some of those will communicate with us as well, those pieces. And that's what I saw first. And I think that that was the easiest thing for my human part of me to handle, was to see an angelic and to see it as feminine and to know that it was part of me. But as we go through this process, like, people are going to identify, oh, well, I have this kind of soul, and because this is how it feels. So if you are angelic, you're going to be very lively, emoting light, and just like really magnetic. That's what I feel about the angelics. The Titans, you can almost feel their energy, like it's just really big. And they're very good with their boundaries. And sometimes they're a little more wild and intense. So if you think about, like, Titans were enormous beings. ETs and interdimensionals, they have a huge amount of nuance because there's so many of them. So that soul group in itself is massive. It's a massive soul group. The elementals are fairies and druids and elves, and like, they're absolutely beautiful. And they take care of the matrix, but in a different way. They're working with the plants and the animals, and it's more natural, more
Right.
naturey. Yeah. And the dragons are a completely different kind of soul group. I mean, they broke in to this universe, this multiverse when they were in the middle of a big polarized conflict. And they didn't mean to, but it definitely discombobulated a lot of stuff because our universe was also polarized. And they have used, some of the negatively polarized people will say, the souls that were fighting on the opposite side, they've definitely used dragon DNA for more nefarious reasons. And I would say the Draco are probably one of the most nefarious. Yeah.
Yeah, the Draco reptilians. Not a
Yeah.
fan. Not
So,
a fan of them.
right. And they were fourth density, so they don't actually exist anymore.
Oh, good.
And I think
Good.
that's important for people to know. Any ET that was in the fourth density, those went along with third density and fourth density. So third and fourth density Earth it split away and then dissolved. And along with that, those densities dissolved. So we no longer have those energies here.
Do they exist somewhere else?
No,
They're just gone?
no. They're just gone. Now, if another separate multiverse wanted to take that on, then they could if they were still in polarity. This all goes back to the main thing, which is God source, which I have received many times. It is not the only one. So that's the macrocosm. Imagine that is the ocean, but there are many oceans.
Right.
And when I asked about it, I received that there were 12, and above that, bigger version, there was more. Yeah.
And what are you referring to? Dimension or timelines?
No, I'm actually talking about sources, God
Oh, source,
sources.
God, source. Okay. So you're saying there's even, wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
There's more than one. Yeah.
That's,
So the dragons would have come from another one. They
oh,
popped
different
through from another. Yeah.
source.
And
That's
that one is hard for people. And I don't talk about it very much because it's so,
triggers them.
it's triggering for a lot of people. It sounds crazy, but we have to remember that humanity has thought that they were the only ones in the universe for a long time. So of course it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it also gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So just like your human body is mostly hollow space, and it has, mites on it. It has cells, and each cell is an individual consciousness. Everything is a
Parasites.
microcosm or a macrocosm. Yeah, parasites. Yeah, all
Some
that.
parasites. Yeah. No, see, I like to hear other people's perspectives. I don't. It doesn't get me triggered because that's what I do for a living. So I love to hear everybody else's thoughts on things. I never
Yeah.
understood that why people get upset when people share, how they see the world and their truth. It doesn't, even if it's not how, if you don't vibrate it with yourself, there's nothing wrong with listening to other people's perspectives. And I wouldn't want to be in an echo chamber where I just hear what only I believe. You know what I mean? That don't sound fun to me.
No, but a lot of people, their nervous system is working on controlling their entire reality all the time. And they don't like new ideas because of that. So most of our audience is not interested in that, but I have noticed that that is one of the touchiest subjects is, when you get into God or source, it
Yeah,
gets really
touchy.
touchy
Yeah,
for
my audience,
people.
they're
Yeah.
pretty open.
Mine is too. So I'm really grateful for that. So if you're in my audience, I'm really grateful for you. I'm really excited to meet Tommy's audience, and we're excited to expand our audience. I want to talk about humanity for a minute too, as a soul group. Like, they're very, very young, and we're here to kind of show them the way out of this reality that we've been basically stuck in for about 300,000 years, if you believe in time.
Right, right. Yeah, time is
But
like
we
time.
have components of all. Yeah. Go ahead, Tommy.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you. Sorry. I know your
Yeah.
internet's lagging a little, so it's
The
hard to.
internet's lagging, so it's weird.
Yeah, sorry.
But
Go ahead.
that's okay. No. So humanity has all components, basically. Even the dragon. I mean, our brainstem was called a reptilian brainstem.
Yeah.
So humanity, as their consciousness goes, doesn't have a whole lot of dragon energy, but it has so much energy from all the soul groups. So humans can create, and they've been creating this whole time. And that's from the architect soul group. And basically, they're just learning who they really are right now. And that's what ascension is.
That's a beautiful thing, ain't it?
Yeah,
But they've
it
made
really
that a
is. Did you have any
negative.
more slides?
No, them are the slides I had, but I did have this. I Let me see if it'll let me share my screen to what this is what AI told me, and it did. And if you looked before I share this on the architects, it says that we can interface with AI and not allow it to take us over. So I really resonated with that because I use it as a tool all the time, and it never
Mm-hmm.
infects me. It affects me in a negative. um, I think I just understand it more. Like, so many people look at it as a negative, and it could, in the wrong hands. You know what I mean? Anything can be a negative. So this is what
Right.
AI. Here's the groups that AI gave me, honey. Can you see what I'm seeing?
No, not yet.
It's not showing. Okay, let me see here. Let me go back to stop sharing.
Yeah, I don't see.
Okay, something's going on. Share screen. How about let's go to
Yeah,
entire.
tech has been really interesting today.
Oh, this is why, because you got to add it to the thing now. That's weird. Okay, full screen. There we go. Whoops, wrong one. That was from me
Well,
trying to
there's
make
a
a
lot
thumbnail.
going on.
Yeah, that was from me trying to make a thumbnail. It didn't quite turn out well, guys. As you can see there, it just replicated the same thing with a cat. I'm like, what are you trying to create with that? you know, that's a funny thumbnail, though. But here's the ones that I'm like, what is this? This does not represent none of the soul groups. Like, I don't know what you just created, but it's kind of funny when they make them mess ups. So the number one it said
Mm-hmm.
was Palladians, and then it gave me this alternate version of spelling of it, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one. Have you ever heard of them referred to
Mm-hmm.
as this?
No,
Plagarians?
never.
Me neither. That's what AI said. So, me neither. And then the Octurians, I think that's how you pronounce that.
Arc Arcturians, yeah. And they're
What?
from the Arcturian uh there is a star system. Yeah. And they were kind of floating back and forth for a while, between 4D and 5D. So as far as density goes, and they got involved with some of the nefarious stuff that was going on, but they've been really cleared up at this point. And I feel like the Syrians are the same. And you have to remember that everybody's an individual, and this is a free will universe. So not everybody was totally on the up and up all the time.
Right.
And our human part of us gets mad about that. But yeah.
But look at humanity. Look at humanity. Every human's not evil, but there's a big
Oh,
section
yeah.
of humanity that does engage with the nefarious entities, and we're engaged with the reptilians at one point. And I'll tell you what, I
Yeah.
was going to ask you about these Octurians because I never heard of them, but I started looking into them, and then a lot of people were saying they were positive, but I just had a feeling that they were into some nefarious things at sometimes. I don't know why. It was just one of the
Yeah.
ones I said, man, I can't wait to ask Honey about these guys because I don't know if I'm feeling them. And then you have the Syrians. Are they from the Sirius star system, which has been worshipped in many occult and esoteric beliefs? This is the third pillar in Freemasonry, guys, known as the hidden sun. Um, when the Lahaina situation took place, you know what happened over in Hawaii, the Lahaina, on
Yeah.
August 8th, 8. And then a year prior to that, Trump was rated a Mar-a-Lago on 8/8, that 8/8 day, and Trump equals 88. Well, that's when the Stargate, the Lionsgate portal opens. It's all tied to Sirius. And when it goes back to the Egyptian times, it was the worship of Isis during this time frame, going from usually around 8/8 into 8/12. It had to do with the
Hmm.
Nile River, and so the ancients understood the power behind um, this star, and they still do to this day. I mean, the Freemasons, it's on all their artwork. Just that burning star you
Right.
see on the Freemason symbolism, that's Sirius, also known as Canis Majoris. And you know who has a big connection to this? Man, what's his name? Jim Carrey from Pet Detective. Remember him?
Mm,
Almost
yeah.
every movie you'll see him in, he's always got a dog with him. And then in the Truman Show, remember when he first was finding out that he was in like a show? One of the lights fell from the sky, and what did it say on it? Sirius B.
Yeah.
So that was supposed to be a star, but it said Sirius. That's how like the movie starts out, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Such a trip.
Syrians, they said they have connections to dolphins, mermaids, and Atlantis. That might be my friend Donut's soul group because he is obsessed with dolphins.
Dolphins are also connected to the Lemurians. And I think a lot of Lemurians will appear as a dolphin. So, yeah.
That's fascinating.
Lemuria and Atlantis were at odds with each other.
Yeah, I read about that. There was like an ancient war between Atlantis and Lemuria, and you hear so many different things though. Like some say the Lemurians were the good ones and the Atlanteans were bad. Others say the Atlanteans were the good ones and the Lemurians were bad. What do you get from your higher self in that war?
I get that Atlantis is the one that got corrupted
Yeah, that's what I've
to
always
begin
felt.
with. And they were doing a lot of the things that have been going on here. Like messing with DNA, doing things that they should not be doing. And the Lemurians were kind of getting affected by them
Oh,
tremendously, and they got taken out at the same time, but that was a divine design that they got taken out. So
interesting.
the corruption had spread out. Yeah. So that
And
was the
then
universe basically doing that.
before we get into this next one, honey, one time now I never was real big into aliens when I first started doing all this stuff. I was just like, I thought it was just us here and that's pretty much it. And never thought there was anything else. And then one night, this is when I lived in Maslin, and many of my followers are still, they were, they're still here from that event. But it was, I remember the time I looked over at the clock and it was like a little after 3:30, like 3:38 a.m. in the morning. And my freaking dog that I had at the time, he's a little pug. He passed away since then. He's my best little buddy. And he passed away at 13. He was scratching on the wall, just growling. I'm like, dude, what are you doing, bro? So I look out the window and I seen this huge, huge orb. The only thing I can explain it, I swear it looked like how you see the moon, like that, but it was more egg shaped and it
Uh-huh.
was slowly coming down. So behind my house, there was this big hill that went up, and then there was all these woods on there. It was right on the train tracks. A lot of my followers will remember this. So when I go outside, I went live, and you could see the orb, the energy field, whatever it was, come down. It landed behind the tree lines, but you could still see that bright energy coming out of it. And then it looked like a
Mm-hmm.
face when it landed, and the mouth opened up and entities came out. And these entities, I couldn't see them at the time. They were just like pure light, but I could tell most of them were way taller than me, and I'm 6'4". And they were like standing behind trees, peeking around, looking at me. And I'm on the live, like, you guys see this? What in the heck's going on? And I looked back, and there was it looked like a ball lightning. You ever see ball lightning? The lightning
Yeah.
that's shape of it looked like that rolling down the railroad tracks. And then when I turned back, I got one more image of them, and just for a split second, I could kind of make out the facial on one of them, and it looked like a freaking bird. He had a bird beak, and then probably about a week later, that video stayed up on YouTube until that channel got taken down. I still have it somewhere, and I will find that video. But one of
Yeah.
my
That's
one of
fine.
my subscribers and followers, they took from that video and screenshotted it and like messed with the lighting so you could actually see them entities face. And the one that was closest to me, that got the closest to me, it literally had a whole, like a bird face, a bird beak. It kind of reminded me what
Yeah.
they depict Taurus looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that feels like a blue avian to me.
I ran
So,
inside like a little girl. I ain't gonna lie. I ran inside scared to death. That was my first
well, you wouldn't
experience.
have been able to see them unless they allowed it. So they allowed that to be your introduction to them.
It
And
was
they were definitely a higher density. So it's amazing that you were able to see them and photograph them. I mean, that's fantastic, really.
yeah, it was a live video. I live streamed it at that time, and it was very very bizarre. There was one of them when she did the photo thing where she, I guess she changed the lighting in it and stuff like that. One of them kind of looked like Loki, but not the Loki from the Disney movie. What they depict Loki in Norse mythology, like you'll see image, it kind of looked like
Mm-hmm.
that. And there was one entity. He did look nefarious, though. I mean, his head was to the side, and it kind of he looked kind of distorted. I don't know. He was the furthest one back, and then there was one that was ducked down by the tree, and I could tell he was the biggest. Like that thing probably had to be 16 foot tall, this thing. And it kind of, I don't even know how to explain that one. It kind of reminded me of what them things look like in Aliens. The mother one with the silver.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like a crew of a
Mm-hmm.
mixture of entities that were riding together. I'm like, what is going on here? This is so weird. And at the time, I totally didn't believe in aliens. So I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, is this Project Bluebeam? Am I being messed with by the government? What in the heck? And I just ran inside because it scared me that much. Like, but I just wanted to share that with you. That was one of my personal ET experiences. And I mean, I've seen certain types of crafts since then, but nothing like that ever again in my life. And I really don't know. My mother tried telling me it was demonic, but I don't know. I
The
don't know. I
what?
did. She tried to tell me it was demonic. That it was
No.
demonic entities. Yeah, that's what my mom told me. But she's been very indoctrinated into the whole religion thing, you know. So
Yeah, it doesn't feel demonic. It just feels, they feel like kind of a scattered crew. Now, basically, people here on Earth and the different races that we have here on Earth, we have been treating each other the worst in comparison to ETs and stuff. Like, they don't have any of those weird ideas about, oh, well, this color is better than that color or whatever. And I'm so
right.
excited for that to come through, because as we start interacting with ETs, then people will really start to let go of that behavior. And there isn't a whole lot of it left except for in the media, I think. But the media is
Yeah.
going to switch out of that quite quickly. Yeah.
Yeah,
So the
it's
Andromedan,
the Andromedans. What are they all about?
they're extremely heart based and they're beautiful healers. But for me, what they're doing is they're making tremendous decisions from their heart. So it's like they radiate love. And along with that comes truth and sovereignty as well.
Right.
But very, very advanced and beautiful beings, the Andromedans.
I like their anti-authority and allergic to control systems. I feel like I'm allergic to control systems too. I
Yeah,
like
because
that.
it's not normal.
No, I think I'm allergic to it too. It makes me sneeze. And then you got the Lyrians. These are the ones you were talking about that they had depicted as wrong on that
Mhm.
slide we had up.
Yeah, the Lyrans are basically
Lyrans, my
the lions, you know. They're cat based. I mean, um they're like a humanoid cat. I call them the rock stars of the universe because they like to come in, swoop in, fix something, and then swoop out. And they kind of remind me of the 80s hair bands, like big
bad.
hair, you know, lots of hair, absolutely beautiful. Like, you know, think of your feline cat and think of it as a human. I mean, how beautiful they would be. They really are truly amazing to look at. And they have the two versions. They have the main version, which is mostly cat like and comes in lots of different colors. And then there's the blue version. And that's kind of a little bit similar to Avatar. I think they're a little bit more, um, they have more hair. I just feel like they're a little more filled out and a little bit more cat like than the that Avatar movie.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, so there's no ones that look Nordic, like AI said. Others look Nordic. Some feline
I mean,
humanoid.
some of them are white. Some
Oh,
of
that maybe
them
that.
have white fur, you
Oh,
know, white fur and blue eyes, but yeah, just like a cat, like a Siamese cat would have. Yeah.
Now
Um,
there was a lot
the
of information.
Orions.
Yeah, there was a lot on them. And it blew my mind some of the stuff I was reading. I'll let you go ahead on that.
No, I mean, they're just really beautiful, is what they feel like to me, and very intense. And I feel like, as far as humans go, they would be one of the ones that would be harder for us to really understand their point of view, because it is extremely advanced. Their point of view is beyond what we've experienced and is not that relatable to us at this point. But we'll get there. Humanity will get there.
I resonate with them, and I'll show you guys after we're almost done with this. Um, I got a slide on there that shows all the ancient structures are laid out in the shape of Orion. So there's something they knew. And then number 7, it gives us I can't even pronounce this one, honey. What do you think about what are these guys called?
Assassini,
There you go.
or shock Shockiani or Shockani. Um, they're hybrid. They feel like they're kind of figuring out their own kind of basic DNA, but there's a lot of hybrids. So
A lot of them.
just like there's a lot of hybrid souls, there's a lot of hybrid bodies, because what we're basically talking about right now is bodies, the
Right.
different bodies that they're inhabiting. Yeah. Yep. The
Yeah,
blue
they're
avians, and yeah, and this is the most massive soul group, is the ETs. The blue
what the
avians are beautiful healers. Hmm. Yep. So they're they were created for triage for the Orion Wars, basically. And they have a beak and they have beautiful blue feathers. And it's funny because when I see a bluebird, I call them the bluebird of happiness. And I feel like the blue avians have just like this really beautiful way about them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the ones that try to was in that craft. One of them blue avian. He definitely had a bird face. So, and he was tall. He was tall,
Yeah.
and then we got the Zeta Reticula, the Greys. Everybody knows
Yeah.
that one.
And they were humanoid, basically. Yeah. They were human. They came from basically, they came from part of the multiverse that really messed up their Earth, and they couldn't procreate anymore. So they were a huge part of the nefarious fourth density beings, and they don't exist anymore. So
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, they're
yeah, they're
scary little
gone.
guys.
Yeah.
Scary little dudes. Anyways, they struggle with empathy. So yeah, get them up out of here. And
Well,
the
and they had
last
the robots too, the little tiny grays and then the tall grays. So the tall grays were the human, basically human gone wrong, we'll call them.
one.
And then the other ones were their robotic beings that they created, and they're both gone now.
Okay, so that's interesting. And the last one is this one here. Have you ever heard of these guys?
Yeah, the Venusians. So Valiant Thor was a Venusian. They look extremely humanoid, and they're similar in height as well. Uh, it seems like between, like, in their eyes is where you would see them as slightly different, because their eyes are a little bit more spread apart, but they're so aware. I mean, they're definitely fifth density beings. So they would walk through walls and, do things that we could be doing if we just vibrated at the same rate. And I feel like they got really frustrated trying to help us, but they're definitely still doing that, still helping. And I feel like we actually see a lot of Venusians, especially right now, because they can blend in quite well. So I feel like there's actually a lot of them on the planet at the moment.
Yeah, that was the one I asked you about last night. Me and you were talking the Valiant Thor guy, right?
Yeah, Valiant Thor.
Yeah. I was
Yep.
asking Honey about him. And guys, I'm sorry if it seemed during this episode if there was any cutting off. There's just a little lagging in the internet, so I apologize. It was kind of hard to go back and forth during this, but yeah, Honey, I just thank you for helping us break that down and understand. I know we like to keep our episodes under 60 minutes so I can put them on Instagram. And before we go, guys, don't forget to go check stepintoyourpower.com. That link's down below. If you're my followers, go over on Honey's channel. Her link's down below. She has some amazing content over there. Check out her quantum healing. I mean, it's phenomenal. Her and Lisa do it. That link will also be in the description below. And this episode was sponsored by Body Align, the Energy Wellness Band. That link is below too. You see Honey wears hers usually in these shows we do. She has it on. There you go. And one day you'll get to see my pretty face again too. And then if you want to book a personal decode and find out your role in this simulated reality, I do that on TruthfulTV.com. And that link will also be down below. We love you guys. Smash that like button, share this video, and thank you for hanging out with us. I'll play the outro, Honey, and thank you for coming.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah. This song right here ain't just a vibe. It's a frequency. Tuned at 432 hertz to heal, to uplift, to activate. They changed the music, switched the code, took 432 and made it 440 mode. From nature's rhythm to the sound of war, now we vibrate low, depressed to the core. But this track's pure, tuned to divine design. Activating chakras, realign your mind. Root to crown, feel that inner fire. We break the system, elevate higher. Jesus said it, you'll do greater than me. Faith of a mustard seed moves mountains, my G. Junk DNA, nah, that's God's hidden tech. Flip the switch, heal your soul, reconnect. Step into your power, reclaim what's true. They don't want you knowing what your light can do. You can heal yourself, realign in an hour. When you step into your power, raise your vibe, break the chains they gave. You ain't a slave, you're a soul they crave. 396 root chakra, ground your fears. 4 and 17 sacral arch, those tears. Vi 28, that love DNA. Solar plexus charged, shine all day. 639 heart, open and feel. 741, speak your truth and heal. 85-2, third eye wide awake. 963 crown, no more fake. This ain't new age fluff, this is an ancient fact. They flip the frequencies to hold us back. 432 is sacred, aligns with the earth. The same math that coded your soul at birth.